Hey there, bosses. Corey from the Being Boss team here. I'm popping in to let you know about a new way for you to stay up to date in the world as a creative entrepreneur. Brood. Brood is a weekly email curated by the Being Boss team just for you. We share articles, podcasts, and resources from around the internet on the topics of mindset, money, and productivity to help you show up and do the work in your business. Learn more and sign up for free at beingboss.club/brood. That's beingboss.club/BREWED.
Welcome to Being Boss, a podcast for creatives, business owners, and entrepreneurs who want to take control of their work and live life on their own terms. I'm your host, Emily Thompson, and today I'm joined by Mike Michalowicz, author of Profit First and Fix This Next, to come share more about his most recent book, Get Different, on how and why you need to be thinking outside of the box when it comes to marketing your business. As always, you can find all the tools, books, and links we reference on the show notes at www.beingboss.club. And if you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to this show and share us with a friend. Sometimes seeing someone else's path to success helps us clearly map out our own. It's why we all like business podcasts, right? Well, I'm here to share a show for you to check out, the Female Startup Club podcast, an amazing resource that shares insights and learnings from the world's most successful female founders, entrepreneurs, and women in business. In a recent episode, I loved hearing about how Michelle Grant, the founder of Lively, the lingerie and swimwear brand, built and sold her company for $105 million in just 3 years. Total boss move. So if you're looking for a new pod to inspire your next steps, listen to the Female Startup Club podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Confident that he had the formula to success, today's guest became a small business angel investor and proceeded to lose his entire fortune. Then he started all over again, driven to find better ways to grow healthy, strong companies. Mike Michalowicz has since devoted his life to the research and delivery of innovative, impactful entrepreneurial strategies for you. Mike is the creator of Profit First, which is used by hundreds of thousands of companies across the globe to drive profit. He is the creator of Clockwork, a powerful method to make any business run on automatic. In his 2020 release, Fix This Next, Mike details the strategy businesses can use to determine what to do in what order to ensure healthy, fast, permanent growth and avoid debilitating distractions. His latest book, Get Different, released in September of 2021, will give you the tools to stand out in any market. Mike, welcome back to Being Boss.
It's good to see you again, Emily. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited for this chat. This has been on my calendar for a couple of weeks. Like one of those things I get to look forward to. Well, and we were just talking about Thanksgiving turkeys too. So it's you and Thanksgiving turkeys.
Eat turkey so badly right now.
I'll stop talking about it because we're actually here today to talk about what you've been up to. I do want to do a little bit of a recap for our listeners. It has been 4 years since you were on the Being Boss podcast for the first time. It was episode number 126. If anyone wants to go back and listen to it. What's really funny, and it came up in our community, is that you were clean shaven.
Right. Right. And now I'm homeless.
Right.
or a Civil War general.
Right. One or the other. Yeah. Right. So, it's super funny. We were talking about the community and everyone was very entertained by your like clean shaven, almost baby face. You came on to talk about Profit First way back then, which has, I will tell you, become a little bit of a Bible in the Being Boss community. We call ourselves your unofficial fan club. Profit First comes up all the time. If any, especially new boss comes into the community and brings up anything around money, everyone goes, stop talking, go buy Profit First.
Oh, I love it.
Period.
I love it.
It's wonderful.
I love they start off by saying, stop talking. Like they insult the person first and then tell them what to do.
Or just like, here's the solution to all your problems.
Yeah. Have that pie hole clamped down because I'm going to tell you what to do. I love it. Like I would be really not receptive to the next words. Here's the deal. Shut it And here's what you're going to do. Like, okay.
Right.
Game on.
You can tell us whatever your problems are, but it doesn't matter because the solution is go read Profit First. We also had a boss on the podcast recently, Amy Koretsky in 271, if anyone wants to go back, who accredited Profit First with helping her not only survive, but thrive through the pandemic.
Boom.
Right. So if I can just inflate your ego a little bit there to get us started.
My beard just got bigger. I don't know. You saw it kind of fluff out a little bit there, but
is that what happens?
Yeah.
I love it. So it's been a long time though. Profit First is not the only book that you have written. What have you been up to since you came and chatted with us way back when?
So since Profit First, I've released subsequent books. I can't remember the sequence, but my most recent 3 are Fix This Next. I wrote that book specifically because many business owners did not know what to fix next in their business. We're in this constant trap of just putting out fires. How do we get out of that fire mode and move toward what the business needs from us? I wrote Get Different. Get Different is around marketing. I believe, particularly creatives, like the work you do is significant. It is better than the alternatives that are out there. You care more. You're more engaged. There's components, maybe not all capacities you're better than the alternatives, but you're better. And you have a responsibility to market accordingly. That's why I wrote Get Different. And then just from this recording date, just 2 days ago, I released My Money Bunnies, my first children's book. I actually have a copy of it sitting here on my desk. I just released this a couple days ago, and we'll see. But the initial response has been just wonderful, wonderful feedback.
Amazing. So just doing the authoring thing.
That's all I do. Yeah, that's all I am. I'm just an author with a beard.
I love it.
Now with a beard.
Right. And I don't think maybe you did mention, but Clockwork is another one that.
Clockwork.
Right.
Yep.
That's an important one as well. We actually had you come speak at the Being Boss conference in early 2020 on Clockwork. If anyone does want to listen to the replay of that, so great. It's in the Being Boss Clubhouse. And I personally also loved Fix This Next. So anyone who's looking for the next book to go read too, I also became a Fix This Next advisor. I don't tell people that often, but just internally, some of the masterminding that I do, I use it as a tool in that space and love it. We use it consistently. We're always talking about, our omens and all the things. So
nice.
Huge fan of what you're doing, Mike. You are accomplishing your mission.
Thank you. And thank you for spreading the word. And I hope it serves as a compliment to the great work you're doing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I do want to dive into Get Different, which is what we're here to talk about today. The book that you recently released. It is your marketing book, but I do have to ask, why a marketing book and what makes this one different?
Nice. I see how you use words there. I like that.
Yeah.
So this is started, I think it was now 7, maybe 8 years ago. I was on stage at a conference and I asked the group, who here is better than the competition? I was just curious how people would gauge that. And it was 100% of the hands going up saying I'm better than the competition. So I started to query people and say, well, in what way? Faster response, just the owner was integrated in the process, just cared more. And they arguably were better than the competition. I subsequently have been asking groups, and consistently 80 to 9% of any audience of small business owners feels, and they're unequivocally are better than the competition. And I said, well, if you are better than the alternatives, don't customers need to know about you? And I'm not saying strong arm or manipulate a customer into buying from you. I'm just saying you need to be brought to an awareness where the client or prospect can choose alternatives and knows what's available. And they said, yeah. And I said, well, how come we're not doing it? And it's because we're not marketing effectively. If we market at all, we're using the best practices of the industry, which is the worst thing to do because we're replicating the industry, which makes it white noise. In other cases, we're relying on our customers' referrals. I get 80% of my leads from referrals, 100%. I used to pound my chest about that one myself. 100% of my referrals come from customers. But that means we're at the whim of our customers to market us. Plus, it means our customers believe in us so much that they're taking on the marketing effort themselves, reaching out to their trusted confidants and friends and saying, trust me, you have to work with this company. That is a great acknowledgement of our service, but gosh, that is also a they're begging, they're pleading us through their actions to market ourselves. After I saw that trend, I was like, I got to write a book on this and study it. And I needed to know it for myself. So I spent the next 5-6 years researching, implementing and testing and experimenting with what makes marketing successful.
I love it. One of the things that I've found through years of surveying bosses and creative business owners in our space is that two big problems. One, time management. What do I do next? Which you also have one for that, but also how and when should I be spending time on any of the many things on the to-do list of a small business owner? And two is marketing. It's getting more customers and clients. And the thing that I do see most often is they'll go buy a blueprint, right? Or someone's course on here's how I did it, or listen to the podcast that tell you all of the social media marketing secrets, right? And they go do the thing and they are so underwhelmed and frustrated by the lack of results, right? That they become disheartened. Put a lot of money into it. Yeah. So much money.
These the idea of Get Different is to use marketing experiments, not marketing plans. And yet most people invest in a marketing plan. The concept of a plan is commitment. I plan to visit all 50 states during my lifetime. Okay, that's a commitment to do it. And then we start kind of trudging through it. But the question is, well, how are we going to do this in a way that gives us joy or is the most efficient way? What's the elements behind that? And you got to really consider these small elements before you roll it out into a plan. In Get Different, I teach marketing experiments. And the idea behind an experiment is it's going to be trial and error. We don't know what's going to work. We have to find what works. If we do a marketing plan, we are replicating, as a general rule, what someone else has prepared for us. And it inevitably won't work as effectively because it's already out there in circulation and prospects are already seeing it. And they've just made a decision around if they want that or not, which usually is a no. I'll give you an example. The most common thing I see replicated in recent times is this "Hey friend" email. I remember the first one I got. I don't know if it was like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever, but I remember the very first one I got. And Emily, when I got it, I was like, oh my God, I have a friend who's so friendly that they don't even use my first name in an email. Who is this friend? And I went through it and I'm like, oh, this isn't a friend. This is smarmy marketing. And then this part of my brain is called the reticular formation for all of us, registers things that are irrelevant. And it says, hey friend, irrelevant. The second "Hey friend" I got, I barely paid any attention to it. I looked at it and was like, is this, smarmy marketing. And by that one, I constituted my mind never to read a "Hey friend" again. I may have received hundreds, perhaps thousands of that marketing plan and strategy technique and spammed or deleted every single one because it's already been registered. When an established successful marketing approach is out there and others replicate it, it actually admonishes its effectiveness. It destroys it because the consumer has become habituated to it, meaning they found a way to ignore it. So the key to successful marketing is to do what the customer or prospect hasn't experienced yet. Now, there's couple ways to get there. One really easy way is to actually look outside your industry. If someone is successfully marketing in a certain way outside your industry, you can replicate that if your prospects are the first to experience that, because then it'll be different. When something different hits our brain, reticular formation, and it's like, I've never seen this before, it actually lightens up the whole brain. It opens up our brain. It guarantees attention because our brain then says, is this an opportunity for me? Is this a threat? Or can I categorize this as ignorable in the future? But we have to evaluate it. If you've ever been walking down the street and you do that, what? That double take, that's the reticular formation saying something unexpected is presenting itself, evaluate. So you have to do different marketing and it will garner attention. Here's the other thing. What's interesting is most people are so afraid of doing different, they never do it. I call it the devil and angel. There's an angel on one shoulder saying, you're better than the competition, market accordingly. Marketing is the ultimate act of kindness. You must be noticed. Then on this side, the devil is like, you're going to interfere with people's lives. You're going to be bothersome. In fact, they may laugh at you, make fun of you. Don't be noticeable. So there's an angel saying the only way to get noticed is by being out there. And the devil saying, don't be noticeable. We want to be noticed without being noticeable. We want to stand out without standing out. We have to overcome that devil and step into what I believe is the truth. Marketing is the ultimate act of kindness if you're better than the competition. Find a different way to do it so that you do get noticed.
You might have heard me talk about CRM platforms in the past and wondered, what the heck is she talking about? Well, a CRM platform takes any customer interaction, like a sale from your website or clicking on your weekly newsletter, and transforms that data into valuable insights. Insights like, when do my customers shop? And do my emails really get opened more on a Monday? A HubSpot CRM platform is ready to help connect the dots between your business and your customers like never before. HubSpot is consistently working to make its products more connected than ever. Improved forecasting tools give you a bird's eye view of your entire pipeline to see what's around the corner. See how your quarter is going, inspect new deals, and use customizable data-driven reports to improve team performance as you grow. With custom behavioral events, you can get into the details of what makes your customers tick, track site behavior, and understand your customers' buying habits, all within the platform. Learn more about how a HubSpot CRM platform can help connect the dots for your business at HubSpot.com. Have you ever wanted to sell digital products for your business but found yourself having to decide which one based on what your website would allow? This plugin will let you sell ebooks but not courses. This app makes it easy to sell webinars but not memberships. It's annoying to think that you have to limit your business model because of the limitations of a digital tool. So, stop weighing the options of what and choose them all by signing up for Podia. Podia is an all-in-one digital storefront that makes it easy for you to sell everything on a single platform so that you don't have to choose just one type of digital product. You can sell online courses, digital downloads, memberships, and webinars all in one place on Podia. Sign up for a 14-day free trial and get 15% off for life by going to podia.com/bosses. I sort of feel I am hearing another devil too, that as you're saying these things, I can imagine some bosses looking at me and going, but it's easier to just buy a blueprint and plug in my Instagram like formula and my, set sort of calendar of email marketing and do that. So to someone who's thinking doing different is more difficult, it's easier to follow the blueprint or the same old thing you've always tried or whatever it may be. What do you say to that?
Yeah. So it's costly to take another idea and it's really costly when it doesn't work. So with to be ease and cost, right? It's easy to spend a lot of money. The other thing is we can reduce our different to these small little kind of tidbits or tastes. We can make it so small that it's doable. What some people get confused about when I hear difference, like, oh, you mean I got to be outrageous, like dress like Bozo the Clown with my waka waka horn going around town. No. Actually, that will even work against you because the different model, when we differentiate, we also must be attractive. So it has to speak to the audience, but we can reduce it to small little tests. The starting point is look what gets your attention. If something is getting your attention, and I'm not saying intentionally go out of your way and say, oh, I noticed this, I noticed that. Just as you go through life, when something triggers you and you're like, oh, what was that? Make a note of it because that's past the reticular formation test. The reticular formation ignores 99.9999% of stimuli. The reason it does that is our survival needs that. If we paid attention to everything, this is kind of weird. I have a hand here. Don't ask. But I'm not looking at this little mini hand, which is...
It's like a mini hand on a stick, too.
Mini hand on a stick. Oh, but you can put your finger. It's so ridiculous. You can do such crazy things with it. Watch the creepiness factor here. So here, if you're watching the video, if I position it right, there it goes. It looks like there's a little mini arm now clapping my book.
Yep.
I'm not paying much attention. Now I am. I wasn't paying much attention to this. And I could spend hours looking at this, like, what's the materials made out of? Why is it, why they make it bendable and stuff? I could spend hours on it, but it would actually compromise my survivability because I would forget to eat and so forth. So our mind is blocking out most things, only pays attention when something is an opportunity, a threat, or is unexpected. So if we do something different, if it gets your attention, you're passing that first major test. Then our question is, how can we deploy that in your business? If it got into your brain, it's going to get into your prospect's brain if you deploy it in your own business. I'll give you one quick example. I'm in New Jersey, Main Street, in our town called Boonton, and there's 3 fitness studios all back to back, right next to each other. Actually, two of them even share a common wall. They compete with each other, and all of them use the common noise, the best practice. Show before and after. Schlubby person turns into ripped person. Schlub, rip, schlubber. And what do you see? Well, people just walk by and you don't look in the windows. I don't. It's like, oh my God, all your clients. I went to these gyms and said, hey, I got a way for you to be different. And none of them took me up on it. Devil on the shoulder, too risky. Ultimately, a gym in Salt Lake City did this. I noticed in a different industry, carnivals. I was at a carnival thing with my kids, and I saw that everyone was at the fun house taking pictures of themselves, selfies with those weird mirrors there that make you look like ET and stuff. And I was like, let's just get two mirrors. And then what we did at this gym is the first mirror, it made you look kind of squat and flat. We put the word before on it. The other mirror made you look tall and lean. We put after on it. And so now people are walking by this gym, and what do you see? You see yourself in the mirror, and it's fun, carnivals, to look at yourself. And people are outside taking pictures like, oh, here's me before. Look at me after. And there was a sign next to it that says, we just transformed you in a mirror. Let's transform you in life. Walk inside. And the foot traffic skyrocketed to this place. That's a way to get different.
Oh, I love that. Simple, effective, and not hard.
Not hard. Small step. It was a small test. You can get these things, on the web for like nothing. And they set them up and start testing it out. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't guarantee success, but we started to deploy it and we found what works. The idea about experiments is we just got to get out there testing, and some of them will fail. But honestly, even a failure is still a success in that it starts building the muscle. You realize now people don't laugh at you. The local news, by the way, came to this gym and said, hey, we want to feature you on the news. They're not going to before and after client pictures saying, oh, we want to put this in the news, because it's common noise.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's talk about getting different. There is a framework. What does it mean for something to be data approved?
Nice. So first of all, it sounds creepy that you said that.
It does.
You mean this data approved. But it is a mnemonic, a way to remember the three key elements of effective marketing. The first D in DAD stands for differentiate. We already talked about that in a lot of detail here. If you do a common approach, it is considered white noise. It actually turns invisible to the prospect. You must do something that is distinct, because then it gets noticed. So do different. Then the A in DAD stands for attractive. It must also speak to the audience's interests and desires. So that clown example, I would never come onto your show and like dress like a clown. If I did, people watching the video would notice because it's different, but it's not attractive, because we all know clowns are murderers. We all know that.
Indeed, I might run away.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
Oh,
maybe.
Could you imagine
Maybe.
Yucko the clown shows up? My gosh. So we need to do something that speaks to the audience. So do something that speaks their language, invokes curiosity, is entertaining, attractive in some capacity. That's the A. The final D is direct. We must tell the prospect specifically what to do with this content. And sadly, a lot of marketing misses out on this. It garners attention because maybe it's different enough. It's attractive. People feel compelled. And then it doesn't tell us what to do. I see this on websites all the time. The learn more button is the worst button on the planet, because the whole reason I went to your website in the first place was to learn more. Now I'm in this kind of circuitous pattern of just learning more. Tell me what to do. Now, the key about the direct is it has to be reasonable and safe. You can't land on your site and say, hey, Mike, give me a $75,000 deposit and we'll have a call about how I can serve you. Like, that's unreasonable and I feel unsafe. So what is a reasonable next step? Maybe it's a transaction where I'm giving you some kind of contact information, my cell number or my email, and your exchange giving some information, and you're getting my permission now to reach out to me for the next step. If it's a low cost item, I sell books. They're $25. For me, the next step is often just buy the book, but be very specific and explicit on what the customer or prospect should do as the next action step. And that's the DAD model.
Wonderful. And I'm wondering if there's so many. Let's just back up on that one. I'm about to ask you 4 questions at once, but we should probably just do
I like that. I like the quadruple question.
Right?
Yeah,
They're just going to layer them all in the same sentence. You have to figure out how to put them together. Yeah. Perfect. So this book is so full of so many very actionable exercises. I'm wondering if you have one in particular, or maybe just a mindset shift that you can share with listeners that they can do right now to start thinking differently about how it is that they market their business.
I'll give you the lowest hanging fruit where you'll see immediate results. And actually, you'll probably feel pretty good about yourself, is to send out an email or some kind of communication to people who've known you in the past, but you haven't been in contact with. Reach out to 3 to maybe 5 people that were friends from the old days. And also reach out to 3 to 5 people that you know today and ask them one simple question. What do you think makes me different? Or what do you remember about me that makes me unique? What we're trying to do here is find your differentiator factor. You see, the goal in marketing is not to market in a way that's inconsistent with you. It's to market in a different way that is consistent and true to you. The only experience people have with your business until they do business with you is your marketing. So it's got to be consistent, and you got to lean into your different. Why it's so wonderful is you'll find a common thread. When you hear back from your friends, they'll say, oh, you were always so funny, or you were always so sincere, or you could boil down what I was feeling in the moment so effectively. Whatever that common trend is, that is your differentiation factor. And that's what we want to amplify in our marketing.
All right, bosses, to show you the power of this simple little exercise, I did this myself in the Being Boss community. As I was reading this book, I was getting all kinds of permission to quit so many marketing things that I felt I had to be doing. And the answers to my question to bosses about what they believed this podcast in our community does differently or better than our competition gave me so many good ideas for how my team and I can rethink how we share our message and mission with the world. I'm sharing these responses so that you can see what opening yourself up to this kind of feedback can sound and feel like. So first, I have a response from Jill Nobeluk, branding and digital strategist in Chicago, who says, "It's intimate, authentic, and real, both connections with you, the host, and with others in the community." Gillian O'Neill, an indie sewing pattern designer in Dublin, Ireland, says, "The fact that it's focused on creative entrepreneurs, it's what keeps me coming back for more." Samantha Shimas, a fashion illustrator and designer in Washington, D.C., dittos the sentiment, saying, "This is the only podcast/company I know that is geared towards advice for the general creative entrepreneur and with a community. The podcast is genuine, no fluff, and I love that you're so open about your own journey. I've learned so much." Kirsten Pagan, a soap maker in Marathon, New York, says, "The Being Boss community fosters genuine, uplifting interactions between and among real people, which in turn fosters both individual and community growth in the arena of creative entrepreneurship." She also says that she's pretty sure I'm the only podcaster she listens to who actually knows her name and face. And to that, I say that's the benefit of showing up. I love connecting with our community members. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Bosses are the coolest people on the planet. Now, I'll save you from any more of what feels like shameless plugs and simply wrap this up by hoping that you can see the benefit of this vulnerability. And like I said, this feedback gives me several ideas for marketing that I will definitely be taking into my planning sessions for the year ahead, especially once I pair this with the other powerful exercises in Mike's book, Get Different, which I do believe is a must for each and every one of you, because we bosses are not here to do the same old thing, but to certainly do things differently. I have a question from a community member that will sort of take us a little bit off of this topic, but I still think very much so in the realm of what we're talking about. Jolinda Smithson, who is a member of the community, is a fan of yours. She has said that your books have been vital education as I've grown and evolved my business. Are there ways I can help my clients embrace the better business practices that you share? Is there a Mike M. entry point book for clients that you would suggest? And I will say that I second this for bosses in the audience who may be finding themselves discovering you for the first time.
Yeah. Well, Jolinda, you are a rock star. So congratulations on your success. I'm honored to be a small part of your journey. That's a big deal to me. So thank you. In regards of introducing other people to my stuff or any kind of business education, what I found is I used to enthusiastically say, oh, here's the book of choice. But I think the best entry point is to solve the immediate challenge or problem someone has. So I'd actually lead off with a question, Jolanda. I would say, to my client prospect, hey, where do you feel you're struggling most? Oh, we're not profitable, or we're having trouble hiring people, or whatever it is. Once I know that, I say, oh, I may have a solution for you. And if it's profit, maybe it's profit first. If it's hiring, I haven't written that book yet, but maybe there's a better resource for them. I think solving a problem is better than just introducing something that may not be relevant to their immediate pain. The other little tip I have is when sharing a resource like a book or anything is it does put a burden. Like if I receive a book and I'm like, oh, I have to read this, we're going to find the time. It's 8 or 9 hours of my life. That can be a pretty big investment. What I do is when I gift a book or a resource, I actually put sticky notes in them. And the 4 or 5 favorite pages I have, I say, hey, just read this one paragraph, read this one section. And then the last sticky note says, if this is serving you, give me a call. I'll walk you through some of the stuff myself. That way, I don't put this obligation of reading a book on someone who may not have the time currently available, but they can kind of cherry pick the key elements that will trigger and light them up to the idea. And then maybe I can handhold them the rest of the way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mike. Then where can listeners and audience folks find more about you and buy your books?
MikeMotorbike.com. So I think I said this last time, but that's the site I own. I have Mike Michalowicz, but no one can spell that long Polish nasty name, Michalowicz. But motorbike is pretty easy. So MikeMotorbike.com. Plus, there's a little kind of goose egg or Easter egg, I should say. When you arrive, you'll see something kind of fun there. I make fun of my beard because so many people like to make fun of my beard, including myself. But go to MikeMotorbike.com. There I have all resources for my books, free chapter downloads. I used to write for the Wall Street Journal. Those articles are there. And there's a couple different things. Definitely you'll notice that. I invite you to, once you discover them, maybe to put your own spin on it and employ in your own business.
Perfect. And I have one final question for you, if I may.
You may.
What is making you feel most boss?
Making me feel most boss?
Yeah.
Probably the Money Bunnies right now. Here's the coolest thing. My old grade school, like where I went to grade school, said, hey, would you want to do a reading to the kindergarten class on my Money Bunnies? I'm like, that is boss. I'm like, yeah. Like, that's like a dream come true. So I don't know when yet. We have to work on the particulars because COVID has put a little wrinkle in planning. But I'm going to be reading a new book, my Money Bunnies, my children's book, to my kindergarten class. Not my kindergarten class, but my original kindergarten class.
Can you call it your kindergarten alma mater?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is that the right term?
I guess.
Like, I graduated from this kindergarten. I come in.
Yeah.
I'm wearing kindergarten 1974 or whatever. Like all this stuff. Like, look at me. Yeah. I should get so jacked up. Go Falcons, go Falcons. These poor kids are like, I just need to go potty.
They don't even know what a falcon is.
They don't even know what a falcon is.
Idea.
They haven't learned how to spell it. Yeah. I know how to draw on the lines. I graduated this class. I can draw on the lines. I can.
Perfect.
And then the tear comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also feel like you need to paint your face a little bit, not like a clown, but like.
No, not a clown. Yeah. The war paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't even be let in school. I love this idea.
This is great. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming and sharing all of this with us. I appreciate your time and you writing these books. I think they are doing some great work in the world.
That means the world to me. I'll keep writing. Thank you for having me, Emily.
Of course. Listen, boss, whether you're hiring your first or your 50th employee, I know that running payroll, calculating taxes, deductions, compliance is not easy. That is, of course, unless you have Gusto. Gusto is a simple online payroll and benefits platform for small businesses, like you and like me, because I use it too. Gusto automatically files your payroll taxes and directly deposits your team's pay. Plus, you can easily offer all kinds of benefits, including 401ks, health insurance, workers' comp, and more. It's the kind of tool that not only makes you a good boss, but a good boss, if you get what I'm saying. Sign up now and get 3 months free after you run your first payroll when you go to gusto.com/beingboss. That's gusto.com/beingboss. Now, until next time, do the work, be boss.
Yeah.